Imagine standing on the ground, craning your neck back, trying to see the top of a building that seems to pierce the clouds. These modern marvels that fill major city skylines line Toronto, Hong Kong, Beijing, and New York are not always made of steel and glass. You probably know what I'm talking about already. Yes, skyscrapers. Let me take you back thousands of years ago where our story begins. The first known huge structures that still exist with comparable heights are the pyramid in Egypt. Old building required human ingenuity, determination, masonry skill. This might seem obvious, but when engineers did not have the knowledge we have today, stonemasons and builders only had stone and brick as the only readily available materials they had to build with. Long before cranes, concrete, or curtain walls, ancient civilizations were building towards the heavens. Again, this brings us back to the Great Pyramid of Giza. Completed around 2560 BCE, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for nearly 4,000 years at over 480 feet tall. This was until the Lincoln Cathedral was built in 1311. This building, based in Lincoln, UK, maintained the record of the tallest building in the world for approximately 237 years, from its completion until the collapse of its central spire in 1549. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not a building in the modern sense. A building or edifice is an enclosed structure with a roof, walls, and often windows, usually standing permanently in one place. So, in that case, with no usable floors, no elevators, it is relegated as monument. In Mesopotamia, ziggurats, a rectangular step tower, sometimes surmounted by a temple, reached impressive heights using sun-dried bricks. In medieval Europe, Gothic cathedrals like the reached over 500 feet with pointed arches, flying buttresses, and stone-ribbed vaults. These were spiritual skyscrapers, tall not for commerce but for God. It wasn't until the 19th century, post-industrial revolution, that the modern skyscraper was born, and it happened in an unexpected place, in Chicago. After the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 destroyed much of the city, there was a need to rebuild, quickly and efficiently. In 1885, the home insurance building, designed by architect William LeBaron Jenney, rose 10 stories tall. Not the tallest ever, but it was revolutionary. Why? Because it used a structural steel frame. This changed everything. Instead of relying on thick masonry walls to carry the load, the building's weight was supported by a metal skeleton. This meant walls could be thinner, windows larger, and buildings taller than ever before. In the early 20th century, the skyscraper race truly began, especially in New York City. Engineers and architects were now battling height, wind, and gravity all at once. In 1913, the Woolworth Building stood as the tallest in the world at 792 feet. But it was quickly surpassed by the Chrysler Building in 1930, reaching 1,046 feet. With its gleaming Art Deco spire secretly assembled inside and hoisted up in just 90 minutes. The very next year, the Empire State Building took the crown, standing 1,250 feet tall. Built during the Great Depression, it was completed in just over a year. For 40 years, no building on Earth stood taller. There are several innovations that led to this rapid progress in the building of skyscrapers. The first being steel. Steel, exceptionally strong, highly versatile, meaning it can be easily molded into any shape. Steel is also very ductile, meaning it can bend or deform significantly under stress without collapsing. This makes it ideal as a building material in seismic-rich zones. It is a highly sustainable material because steel can be recycled after a building has reached its lifespan. The second innovation that contributed to the popularity of steel buildings was the invention of the elevator. To be fair, Archimedes was the first recorded to invent the elevator, which used rope, hoisted around a drum. Elisha Otis's invention of the safety elevator in 1853 literally made skyscrapers usable. Without it, no one would probably rent a top floor, if meant only using stairs all the time. The early attempts at vertical transportation across floors were dangerous and unreliable. They often resulted in falls and death. After 1852, a safety brake mechanism was introduced and demonstrated at the World Fair in New York in 1853. Third was caisson foundations, a type of deep foundation used in challenging soil conditions or marine environments, like for bridges like the Brooklyn Bridge. As buildings got taller, their foundations had to dig deeper. Designed to be watertight, caissons allow construction to be done even in submerged soil or underwater. They are made using reinforced steel and concrete and allow for the immense weight of skyscrapers to be distributed evenly, so that the building does not tilt or shift. Many skyscrapers in Chicago and New York rely on caissons due to their challenging soil conditions. Famous skyscrapers that use this innovation are the Willis Tower and Burj Khalifa. After World War II, skyscrapers began to spread globally. Reinforced concrete began competing with steel, especially in regions where steel was scarce or expensive. Concrete was cheaper, fire-resistant, and easier to work with on-site. In this era, we saw the rise of boxy international-style towers, efficient, simple, and vertical, but the skyline wasn't done evolving. The late 20th and early 21st centuries ushered in a new era. The age of the super-tall buildings, which were over 300 meters tall, then eventually mega-tall, which stood over 600 meters tall. The Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur reached 1,483 feet in 1998, using a high-strength concrete core. Then came Taipei, 101, and finally, the Burj Khalifa in 2010, currently the tallest in the world at 828 meters, over half a mile high. Its design relies on a unique buttressed core system, a Y-shaped concrete structure that distributes weight and resists wind forces. The tower sways gently in the wind, but it stands strong, and we're not stopping there. Projects like Jeddah Tower aim to cross the 1-kilometer mark. Whether they succeed or not, the ambition is unmistakable. Modern skyscrapers are about more than just height. They're about resilience, efficiency, and sustainability. Engineers now use wind tunnel simulations, seismic dampers, green facades, and AI-driven building management systems. Materials have evolved too, from high-performance glass to carbon fiber composites. We're building smarter, not just taller. Today, the challenge isn't only how high we can go, but how livable, sustainable, and safe our vertical cities can be. From ancient stone temples to steel titans of commerce and culture, the skyscraper's evolution mirrors our own, as a species constantly striving upward. What began with heavy stones stacked in the desert has become a global expression of engineering, economics, and imagination. The future? Maybe space elevators, maybe cities floating in the clouds. But one thing is clear, the sky was never the limit. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe. See you in the next video.